this portion is all about you guys. It's all about conversation, right? In that world that we lived in about 8 months ago, we would all be sitting in a room, sitting on something comfy, sitting on the floor, which you might be doing now. But let's have some very open conversation.
I can start us off. I'm more than happy to.
You know what? I was about to call on you too.
Yeah, well, perfect. I'm same wavelength there. I really appreciated Emily Lynch's comments this morning. I was so fascinated about her intersection and how she navigates the world in such an unprecedented way, and with such confidence and je ne sais quoi, if I will. I was just so impressed. And I thought her comment about the community as a means of supplying you with the support, or rather the butchering or the scaffolding when you don't have it, to go down that route that is not illuminated before you. I felt it was very powerful.
Yeah. She was really amazing. Caleb, it seems like if we were playing that infamous game of design bingo, and we were playing it over the next couple of days in a completely pure way, not in a sarcastic, facetious way, the word community was used a lot over the last 18 to 24 hours, right? And I feel like we're all rallying around both community and purpose, it feels like, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think sometimes the word community can kind of get a little bit lost in the sauce, for lack of better words, just that word itself. But I know in the past 2 days, I felt it, which has been rejuvenating. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally, Caleb. I'm going to quote you, "Lost in the sauce." I'm kind of loving that.
Happy I can supply some Gen Z lingo to the conversation.
I love it. Alexa, I see you over there. What are you going to take away with you? What has moved you, inspired you? What have you learned?
Yeah, so something that jumped out at me from yesterday that also kind of carried in today, from the interface, the Basecamp tour, it was said that good design is optimistic, and we have the ability to design a better world. And I think that can be said in regards to sustainability and in regards to what the workplace is going to look like after COVID. I think that we really have this unique opportunity to make the best of the situations that we're in, and that's really inspiring to me.
Yeah, perfect. Let me find someone who was with us last year, one of the alums. Tara, I'm going to call on you. I know you said you might have a little bit of background noise, but thinking about what you learned last year and then participating this year, and you got super activist after last year's event and went back to your firm and you kind of kicked some butt. What advice would you give to kind of this new group that will now be alums of this event? What advice would you give to them about learning what they've used and kind of moving forward on their journey?
I think my advice would be that you are enough. I think it can feel overwhelming learning all of this information and understanding the task at hand, especially with us being in the building industry, of how we can tackle such a massive issue. But I think just starting on an individual level, so what Cheryl's referencing, I went back to my firm and I talked to my bosses. We didn't have a sustainability program in place. We didn't have anything other than individuals on certain projects tending to go towards sustainability if they wanted to or not, but we didn't have a firm stance on sustainability. So I presented what I learned at the summit last year, and a lot of my colleagues got on board and joined me, and we created a sustainability program. We created a section of our shelving that features sustainable products. We made the initiative to tell reps coming in, I'm in charge of the library as well, made the initiative to tell reps coming in, please tell us your sustainable products first, rather than just your new fancy designs. We want to learn sustainability first because that's now our priority. And that was just me going back and talking to my firm, and that created a whole entire initiative. and everyone else who cared but didn't really think they could speak up joined me in that fight. So it started a ripple effect. We talked a little bit about ripple effect last summit, and I think that that was one great thing that happened because of it, is the ripple of influencing other people. So now I have a team behind me in the sustainability fight.
That's amazing. That's so amazing. The impact that you have had on your firm and on your clients, it's just incredible, just incredible. Anybody else? Let's see, Amalia, Miss Amalia, you were an alum. You were with us last year.
Yes,
Are
I
you able
will.
to unmute?
Yes. Can you hear me?
What advice would you give to our new group?
So definitely same as Tara was saying, like just to like speak up, even if you're like shy about it, like you can speak with your peers, classmates. In my sense right now, since I'm back in school right now, I will definitely talk with my professors and also with my classmates about what can we do, especially with this new tool that I saw, Material Scan. Like, how can we implement this in our projects? Before we choose our materials, so we already have an idea of what we want to use in our project. For example, carpet. We look up carpet, we see how much carbon that it has. So now we're okay. So now I know I can use this type of carpet, not this other one, even though the other one looks prettier, but I think that this one is more sustainable. You know what I mean? So I think that things like that, starting in school especially, will be easier, and it could be implemented afterwards when they go to the field.
Perfect. Thank you,
If I
Amalia.
can jump in here too on that note with Amalia, I am just starting to teach at SCAD too, so I'm a professor, and this quarter I'm teaching materials. We actually had interface come in and talk to the students, but with every material that I'm referencing or teaching, I'm also talking about the sustainability qualities of that specific material and things that we can do with that material to be more sustainable. So implementing it throughout the curriculum, I think, is a really important thing that we can start doing as now me as an educator as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm also going to quote you. I'm loving "You are enough." I think that's great for us all to remember too when we're feeling kind of down on ourselves. But you are enough. Super quotable. You'll probably see that on Instagram later, Tara. So, Corinna, Sydney, Kristen, what about you all as alums?
I would say that just start wherever you can. So if you're in school, maybe it's conversations with your professors about things you want to be better educated on, because you have a say in what you're being educated on, and the schools want to progress their curriculums. So if you're in school, that's something that you can do. If you're out of school, like Tara said, it might just be going to your job and saying, hey, this is what I learned. What could we be doing better to enhance the company? And a lot of times too, companies should look at it as something positive because it's bringing them to an elevated level. So it's really great for them to have staff who are on board with that and want to elevate a company. For me, what I did was I'm sustainability co-chair of IIDA for New York. And this past year, we actually did a 3-series event based around carbon. The 3rd series is still to come, but we reached out to people in our forum to see what they were interested in. And our first event was just like an educational, kind of what this was for people who weren't really aware about the topic. So it was an educational aspect. And then the second event was kind of action items that we as designers can be doing and how to use the tools that are available to us. And then our third event, which we're working on, is going to be we're calling it a charrette, and we're going to select a design firm that worked on a super sustainable project and bring in the contractor, the client, and the designer and see how they pull together as a team. So for me, it's kind of reaching out to my local network and industry and trying to promote it there. So I think it's just finding where your voice can reach and just trying to reach out to other people.
That's fantastic. Anybody else? Miss Triana, you're an alum too. Welcome. You're muted.
I was,
there
of
you
course.
are.
Hello, everyone. I would say, I think my experience was after this first go round, I went back to my company and said, hey, I learned all this stuff. I think we should do blank, blank, and blank. And originally they were like, oh yeah, okay, and then nothing. So for me, it was kind of one of those, okay, well, you got to do it by yourself and you make the personal choices in order to make an example for your fellow designers around you. And then they can follow suit when they're like, oh, well, Triana found this really awesome product that also was cost effective and sustainable. So let's definitely keep looking at that. And so I started sharing newsletters and things that I got from Interface and other sustainability driven things to my entire firm. Just be like, hey, like, check this out, check this product out, check this out. And so and my part was just giving the information. I was the vessel to give the information to them, and then they could decide from there. But yeah, they were a bit more conservative and trying to move forward that way. But yeah, I would just say, even if you don't get the great response of, yes, let's do it, and actually see the action following, keep going and continue to be the vessel for everyone.
That's great. How are events like this helpful to you all? I'm looking at Hayden, who's still a student, but also for those of you who are working now. How are events like this helpful for you? And what specifically do you find useful in your career with events like this that are connecting you with the manufacturer, connecting you with other designers? Can any of you offer up how this is helpful for you?
I can go. I think what I found was nice was like, first of all, the examples, the resources that were presented, because like sustainability is an idea, but to practice it, and I think that was my biggest question coming into this was, okay, how do I do this? And I think there was a lot of that was like shown, and getting inspiration from that was very nice. And just also seeing small nooks of like the weaving mill, of like how this can also be its own like business, its own thing that like is its own nook, but is doing work and setting an example for everybody else. I think that was, yeah, very inspirational as well. So yeah.
Good. Anybody else?
I would definitely say, just since I still am in school, I'm in the opportunity now where I'm still learning a lot about ways that I can implement sustainability, but I haven't gotten to the point yet where I'm in the professional world where I actually have to implement it. So I think just listening to different people talk about how they went to their firm and said, you know, we want to be more progressive with sustainability, that's really inspiring for me to hear that that's something that I can do when I get into the professional world. Mm-hmm. So that was really awesome, because I guess in my head I kind of thought all firms would be really into sustainability, but that's the student naive, you know, that I haven't had that professional experience yet. So it's really awesome to just kind of, you know, before I even enter in that world, hear that I can do that the moment I get to a different firm and hear those mm-hmm. stories. So that's really awesome. And there's something I said yesterday is I was taught in school, you know, how you can recycle the carpet. But like I said yesterday, like when I get in that, and when I'm on the job site and I'm standing there, am I going to assume that someone else is going to recycle the carpet, or is that on me? So I think just those experiences of when I really do, and when I'm in those positions, that's going to be really interesting to find out. But these conferences are so great because it's opening my eyes to seeing of how I really can do that and truly implement it. So it's really great as a student to get to kind of see the sneak peek of what's to come.
That's great. Yeah, very empowering. Anybody else?
I can go next. I think one thing for me is just having these connections with people who are trying to do the same work, who share the same values and have the same passion. Sometimes day to day, where you're surrounded by those, whether in your firm or around, who don't share those things or don't see the urgency of it, it can be a little draining. And so to have things like this, I was able to go to Greenbuild last year. I was able to virtually attend the Living Future 20 this year. And so every little while, it's just so great to have that boost and to make new connections with people who care about the same things that you do, and that we're not alone, and that we can together. It's so much easier to do it than by yourself.
Yeah.
I think,
Caleb, I'm sorry, go ahead.
sorry, I think you can go. I can go after.
Oh, that's fine, Amalia, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Sorry for interrupting. But before I forgot, because I had the idea in my head. So I think that because I have heard of sustainability before, since I went last year, so we met. But also I feel like sometimes as students, we do get information about like products that like, endanger the environment. But like, for example, I have this class similar to what Tara is teaching, which is materials. And then we have the book, and the book talks about the material, but then there's this part that's about sustainability. But it's like a small paragraph that talks about, So like coming through like this event, when it talks about the impact about sustainability and all that, like it's so much more than just a small paragraph. And I think it's really cool, like bringing in like reps, like for example, the interface rep that we have here in Miami will be pretty cool to have her in our school. Of course, I can contact her and be like, hey, can you please come to our class and just teach us on Zoom, since we're not doing everything virtual, and teach us more, because like I already know because of this, but like some students, they just think that it's just that small paragraph, and probably that's why they don't take it into much consideration, because it's so small. They're like, oh, well, yeah, they're talking about that, but at the same time, I forgot. You know what I mean? So I think that would be something good that we can also do as students.
That's perfect, Amalia. Caleb, I think you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was just going to follow Hayden. I thought that she absolutely articulated it just perfectly. I'm just curious where we go from here, right? Like, as you know, these conferences I think are fantabulous, and it's an incredible, invigorating moment of communication and connection. But it's over this afternoon, and I'm curious, where does the conversation go from here? And for me, obviously, that's in education, because that's my realm, right? And you start them young, and so then from there, when they leave, they understand that sustainability is not a choice. But I'm curious where we go from here.
Yeah. Ooh, it's not over after today, Caleb. It's, and I'm watching all the names pop up in the chat. Like right now, you've got a network of other students and other professionals to connect with. I would bet within 2 years, 5 years, some of you are going to be working together. Some of you are going to be on projects together. I think Interface is definitely going to work to keep you all connected and keep you all involved in their next initiatives. And yes, Yasmin, please jump in, because we've got follow-up programs.
Yeah, so one of the things that we were really excited about this year was having the alumni come back. Sorry, I'm in a noisy place, so there's some squeaky stuff. I don't have an entertaining dog, or maybe I just have noise. But we were really excited about having new participants and the alumni together. And so one thing we want to do this year is, during the course of the year, have 3 or 4 Zoom meetings, reconnections, touch points, where you guys can come back together and maybe share updates on some of the ways that you've implemented some of the learnings. We could invite a speaker. So in our wrap-up kit, we'll probably suggest some dates, and maybe we'll ask from you. I think what we would really love to learn is, what aspects of sustainability do you want to learn more about? And then maybe we can help curate it from there. So if you guys want to share with us the things you're interested in learning, or people you want to meet, or Hayden, you said you have a really great professor who seems to inspire so many people. So if, we'll, in our follow-up, we'll connect with you on that, and hopefully we'll be able to have at least 3 meetings during the year before the next summit. So.
Yeah, but your point, Caleb, is such a good one, because very often we walk away with this great vibe and lots of good information, and we're feeling really good. And then, tomorrow life intrudes. But our goal is to keep everybody super connected through Interface. And that brings me to a question for all of you. What can companies like Interface do, in addition to conferences like this? what can companies like Interface do to further help you on your sustainability journey, to help you with anything that you're dealing with at work, at your firms, in your studios, or at school?
I can jump in with this one real quick. I think just providing resources is especially helpful. They've been helpful to me when I reached out and came to my class and spoke. We had Joey come in and some of the reps. So I think just more outreach and really going into the firms and talking, not assuming that we all know what to do, but since they're the leaders in it, reaching out and making sure that the information gets to the designers who are the ones that are really making the changes.
That's perfect.
I think it
That's
would be
perfect.
great.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, I think it would be really great to be able to have some sort of maybe a pamphlet or a brochure, or even a short video or something that we could share with either our classmates or even because I work in an interior design firm, it would be really nice to be able to present that to the principal. And then that way, maybe that, like as an introduction, then I could go ahead and get something set up so that there could be some sort of more interaction between maybe setting up some sort of meeting between the principal and Interface, or having someone maybe present virtually right now because of COVID to a class or something like that would be really great.
And I have
That's
the
great,
presentation
Yvonne.
that I gave to my firm last year. If anyone wants that, I can share that with anybody. Just reach out to me.
That would be fantastic.
All the hands, all the nods.
Also,
I think, look at that.
we recorded, I think, all of the sessions, most of the sessions. So one thing you can do is we'll share the recordings with you. And if you wanted to like do a session with a group of designers in your firm and watch some of the sessions together or share them, just share the links. I think that would be great too.
Yeah.
And Sarah, at some point we'll have to put you on the payroll.
I am not opposed.
I will say,
know.
because this is more personal for me now, I came from a large firm and now I'm freelancing. I'm on my own out here. And that would be to not forget about those freelance designers in your communities, because they're doing great things and they're equally as important, but they feel sometimes forgotten when it comes to CEUs and even just having conversations about things like this. So just remember to reach out to your freelancers.
Regan, that's really great. And that's good for us to know at IIDA. And even if we set up like a freelancers network, for all those folks who are out there on their own, that's a good one. Team IIDA, we are taking notes. Love that.
Something else I was also thinking is I'm president of our IIDA campus center at the University of Kentucky, and we do lunch and learns for students where we bring in reps. Right now, they're not really lunch, it's just like Zoom learn, but where we bring in reps like Interface to talk about materials, and those have been super successful for students. So it's kind of like they're getting that double dose of you're getting your materials class in studio, but you're also getting reps like in a different way. And specifically like when we do them like that, it's nice because we can talk about, I can be like, can you only focus on sustainability? And, Interface would come in and have that great conversation with students. So I definitely think, taking it even from like an IIDA student level, that can also be super helpful. And it's been really helpful at UK for us to have reps come in and talk and do those things. The reps have been like amazing. That's changed, I think, our whole 4 years of experience just to be able to spec and understand materials before, we get into the real design world.
Yeah,
That's
I
really
agree
good.
with her. We at Pratt did the same thing. I was also the head of the chapter for Pratt, and we've had a lot of people. We actually were trying to do a sustainability thing this year. I was in contact with the person who's running it now, and we would love, because Pratt is a little bit more sustainable forward school, and so we would love to have like Interface or even someone from the sustainability forum just come and talk, because it's such a good way of like getting people motivated at like a kind of education level. So yeah.
I was going to say, I'm definitely going to take some of those ideas back. I'm also the VP of Student Affairs for IIDA Georgia, so I have outreach to most of our campus centers too. So I think that's really good to go through IIDA and that avenue to connect all of the students in Georgia as well.
That's perfect. more and more reps are taking on adjunct professor positions and coming in to do lecture series. And aside from talking about how their product is supporting the industry, they're also providing some really invaluable insight around presentation skills and sales skills that have been really valuable for students because so many firms have that expectation, and they really will post-pandemic that you're going to be able to hit the ground running. And within your design career, that time period has so shrunk. Once upon a time, you wouldn't be client facing for your first 5 to 7 years. And now young designers are client facing as early as 2 years, 3 years in. And there are a lot of things, right, in the interior design curriculum that there's not a lot of room for, you know, kind of like marketing 101 and presentation skills and cultural anthropology. And definitely from an IIDA standpoint, we're seeing more and more reps kind of step in and fill some of those gaps in supporting those skills from a curriculum standpoint. So as you guys are meeting reps and talking to them, don't forget to ask them about some of those other things that they or their firms or their manufacturers can also bring to you that can support your life as you know, as an emerging designer. What else out there do you guys, I'm just going to throw this out there. What else do you want? Do you need? Do you want to see from manufacturers? Do you want to see from IIDA? How can we all do a better job of supporting you as students and as young designers? Like, I loved Reagan's idea about creating a network for freelance designers. What else?
I had a quick thought. Sorry, I missed the first half of the presentation. Hi, everyone. I'm Alvin.
Yeah, hey, Alvin.
I was at the, good to see y'all. I was at Converge last year, which was amazing. So thanks for having us back. And quickly to touch on what Caleb was saying, after last year's Converge, we had the same questions on how do we reconnect. And, we actually did start a Facebook group, and actually Tara's been doing a great job. She was posting a lot, and then, like everything started happening. And I think that life just caught us, and so it's great to be reconnected with all of you and, fresh faces. So, but anyway, here's a quick idea, based on what we were just talking about. You guys have instilled us with a lot of amazing knowledge, and talking about emerging designers and students, it would be interesting to maybe have some of us give the presentations through IIDA interface to different kinds of organizations. So it's like we're taking the knowledge you've given us and we're putting it back out into the world, but we're also meeting new people. I think that, organizations would probably love to see that. And it helps us with our presentation skills as well, so just an idea.
I love that idea. Yeah.
Let's do it.
I was gonna say, to piggyback off of that, a requirement of like anytime that we attend something like this or a large CEU that takes up a lot of company time, it's a requirement for us to go back to either a small group of people in our firm or the firm as a whole and present it to kind of spread the knowledge. So to that point, I think it would be great for everyone to do that, like as just a thing that they do now when they learn something new about sustainability or something else but I do like the fact that it's not that it might be something that is presented even outside of our little bubble of our firm. Maybe it's my chapter, Ohio, Kentucky. Maybe it's that whole chapter rather than just like my little city center or something like that. Mm-hmm. So we can begin to prepared for our interiors group that we have as a firm.
Love that. And consider the fact that the Converge Speakers Bureau has just been created. Thank you, Alvin. And I think, Yasmin, and as we're looking at presentations, upcoming lecture series and webinars. We've got an entire speakers bureau right here from the entire Converge group that we've got some people who can be some amazing presenters.
I was just trademarking the phrase while you were saying.
Doing a quick legal search. Yeah, no, guys, that is music to my ears. You know, the idea of this event has become a reality, and that is the goal. It's for you guys to take this and run with it and spread the good news, right? So thank you, Alvin. It's good to see you. And you've made my year.
Good. That's good. Yeah, but that's such a great point, Alvin, because, you know, in all fairness, you shouldn't always be presented to and talked to. You know, your voices are valid and they're experienced and they matter. And I look forward to Tracy being on a panel with Caleb and, you know, Tara being on a panel with Emily, and, you know, kind of all the wonderful things that will come out of this group. Tracy and, you know, Caleb have this kind of thing going on. So, you know, that's why I put you two on a panel. So.
I'm jealous. I want to be with Tracy.
What else, guys, as we move toward wrapping up? Lots of information is being exchanged so that we can all stay connected. Any other parting thoughts from anyone?
I have a parting
What
thought.
else?
I want to
Tracy
say
Thomas, what's your parting thought?
one thing to the group. Well, you know, I'm the resident salesperson and sales expert here. And I want to underscore something that Cheryl said prior. I want you guys, because I'm adding one more thing to your list, because in order to be client facing, you actually do have to know, obviously, a lot about sales, and don't be afraid of it. It's not, you know, 4 or 5 letter word. It's not. You need those skills so that you can persuade people, you can persuade your clients, and you can persuade your colleagues and your peers to adopt sustainable practices.
Yep, oops. Oh, did we lose Tracy?
It distinguishes you, and it's a soft skill that will make a huge difference in your career. I hope you guys heard me because my internet connection is a little weird, but that's all I want to say.
Always working on our presentation skills, the impact and effect that we have on others, and the ability to consistently and coherently articulate the value of design, the value of the practice of design, is something that will just be important for your entire career. Anybody else? Any thoughts? Any words?
I just wanted to say thank you. I do work full time, so I had to take some time off, and I unfortunately missed yesterday. So I'm really looking forward to rewatching a lot of the recordings, and also really happy to be a part of this group. I think it's amazing that people are getting together and thinking about sustainability, especially in design. I think it's kind of important to think about the positive impacts we can have beyond just improving aesthetics, which I feel sometimes can get a little overwhelming in residential design.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's absolutely true. Thank you for that, Yvonne.
I also just wanted to say that, like, to keep this conversation going, and like we're at a place of sustainability that there's so much more to research, to discover, to know, to add, that we can, as designers, like bring in more innovative ideas, more ways that outside of what's been presented, and just like starting that initiative in itself can grow, and setting the example. So, and thank you everyone for being here, and thank you for all the amazing information. Yeah.
Anybody else?
I'm ready.
Lauren Clark. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Caleb.
Oh, I'm just saying, I'm ready to take my seat at the table. I see it. It's mine. It's cute. Maybe a tulip chair. I don't know. I kind of like them. I'm ready to take it. Mm-hmm.
Claim it. Claim it.
I also wanted to say thank you. It was last year, being part of this last year, it was really, it encouraged me to really start being a leader at my firm with sustainability. And I'm like reinvigorated now and ready to really continue to push for more sustainability.
Good. I love hearing that.
Yeah, even before, sorry,
No, go ahead.
Yeah,
No,
even
go
before
ahead.
we kind of came for this closing discussion, I was starting to feel a little bit like Melissa from the first discussion yesterday, and feeling like the one kind of, you have to be that superhero figure, but even coming back together for this conversation, I feel like now my short-term job is to be a messenger for the most part. And like, if we all leave here and tell one person, and then that one person goes and tells another, you know, I think it's going to be a huge impact. Like how Jen mentioned, I do a similar thing with my company, is to go relay, host our little in-house lunch and learn, and review what I took away from this. And so even telling a few people there and just seeing the domino effect, I think that's going to have a really long-term effect. But that'll be my short-term job title now, is just to be the messenger and not the superhero. So this was a really good, great, like humbling discussion too. And I'm so thankful to be a part of it from today and yesterday. So thank you all for everything.
Oh, that was beautifully said, Amanda. It's, you know, a super short leap from being a messenger to a champion to an evangelist. And you all are already there. You're so coherent about your support of being environmentally responsible, being socially conscious. You know, you all are already activists and you're already optimists. But thank you for that very nice reminder that being a messenger is absolutely critical. Before I jump to Anna, anything else? I don't want to miss anybody. Zoom is so freaking hard to try to like make sure you're capturing everybody. All right. Hey, Anna, how are you?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Good.
We are doing fantastically, and we've just had this nice moment of a wrap-up discussion. I think we've all learned something. I know at IIDA we have. Lauren's been taking notes on behalf of Interface. What an amazing group we have assembled, and we're going to stay connected, and we're going to stay activist, and we're going to stay informed. We've started a speakers bureau, and yeah, it's all going to be good. And we're all of these messengers and evangelists, we're putting them on the road. They're all going to be part of presentations. So so thank you to Interface for encouraging this forum, for innovating this forum for us, and for incubating this forum. Even though we're not face to face, you know, I can't help but remember this time last year, we were like group hugging, and we can't exactly do that in this forum, but the vibe of being a part of a group hug is huge. And so on behalf of IIDA, I want to thank you, and I know all of the my colleagues on the screen, all of the participants are thanking Interface, and I would love to turn to you for some parting words and some wrap up.
Sure. Thank you, Cheryl. I love how just the feeling of kind of positivity and optimism that we feel. We felt it last year when we were together in person. I think we felt it even this year virtual. I think we've all learned how to be kind of tight virtually over the last, 7-8 months. So I'm glad that we were still able to do that this year. I think we heard from a lot of great speakers, a lot of great content. I hope it's something that you can take forward into your careers, in your everyday life, to kind of just change the way you think and change the way that people think around you. You know, some of my Interface favorites, Chip DeGrace talked about kind of the inherent optimism in design. We heard how Emily Winter kind of uses that every day with the weaving mill. You know, Carrie Pay, another one of my favorite Interface creative minds, she spoke about staying true to your purpose, which I think is so important for us to remember, and just striving to be better. And then there were some practicalities too, right? The EC3 tool, you guys use that. It's such a powerful tool, and it's a catalyst for change. but you know, Cheryl, if I didn't thank you personally, I think you just left us on fire for design. So I thank you, and I thank you and the entire IIDA team for kind of partnering with us on this journey. And then I just thank all the designers who are here with us today. I mean, this is a growing community through Converge, and one that we want to keep alive and continue to build and grow on. And I hope that I can meet all of you guys in person someday and see the others that are with us in person again. So thank you so much. So Lauren, do you have any final words?
I do. Thank you, Anna, and thank you, Cheryl, for green lighting this amazing event for another year. It's so good to see your faces. This is harder on Zoom, but I think there's a little bit of a silver lining in that these sessions have been recorded and you've heard a lot, and now you can look back and truly absorb that. And I think you'll find with several of the presentations, like I have the second time through, it's just an even deeper meaning, and it's truly inspiring. But most of all, you guys continue to inspire me, and your optimism is really contagious, and in a good way. It might not be the right year to say that, but I will say that that, you know, to Joey's point earlier about the generation that's following you, they're on fire. And they're not taking no for an answer. So what you're doing right now is paving the way for real change. And that is so cool. And you get to be a part of history. So thank you. Stay in touch. You have questions, reach out to me anytime, all the time. I want to hear from you. And I hope to see you all again next year.
All right. Cheers, everybody. Stay safe, stay well, stay strong, make good choices. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye,
so much.
everybody.